Hi everyone. So I'll show you a photograph of this page right here, but in your sketchbook this week, you're going to produce value studies for two different materials. One would be the graphite pencils, which you purchased, and you can see the range of pencils that I had you buy, so what each of them is going to do. And the other is going to be the soft charcoal and the hard charcoal. So I want you to produce a total of 3 pages. So a value study is how an individual tool or drawing implement will create dark and light. And so there's 5 different squares here. And so you're going to end up at the darkest, and then you're going to have the lightest. This will be halfway between those two, and then I'll go along and show you. So I'm going to start with the darkest. So I'm going to start to, it's basically like coloring this in. I could color a little faster if I hold this on its side. Notice how it's already going darker to lighter, but I want this all to be one consistent value or darkness, and this is going to be the darkest I can make this tool. Notice how I'm holding this at different angles, and I'm creating these marks. Neatness doesn't count. We're not concerned about what the marks are. We're just trying to create a value. A warning: graphite will go shiny on you if you rub it too hard. So with an HB pencil, which I've noticed how I labeled it right there, this is about the darkest I'm going to go. And I'm drawing with the side of the pencil here, not the point. It just helps me to draw. Notice how far back I'm holding. Now I'm going to go with a light value right here. I want to cover the whole square again. Very light touch to try to produce the light value. So you can see the difference between these two. This is all judgment, and this is evaluation. This is you trying to create. Now I'm going to create a value or a gray in between these two. This is the darkest I could do with an HB. This is the lightest. Now let's go with something in the middle. So let's start light, because we can always go darker. See, that's about the same as that now. So let's start with a second coat, maybe at a different angle, and go across. And you can see how it's getting a little darker. Now you want to try to create something right in the middle between these two. So when I look at this, I would think this still needs to go a little darker. Okay. Again, I'm looking at a gradation, and you need to train your eye on how this is working. So is this halfway in the middle? I would think this could still go a little bit darker. Now I'm not pressing down very hard at all, but I am changing the angle with which I draw across the surface of this. So let's go maybe one more time. So that looks like about middle tone to me. So now let's go between these two and create a middle between these two. Okay, so let's start out very light again. And, you know, I'm going to kind of run out of things to say here fairly quickly, and I'm going to move fairly fast. I want you to, take your time on this. The point is, I want you to create these value differences. So see, already, this is getting probably pretty close, because this is starting to blend on me here. It's a little light or lighter right here, so I might darken up, but that's probably it right there. See how I could go light, a little darker, darker. Now let's jump over here and go, what is in the middle of these two? You can see how quickly this starts to happen as you build up your values. Okay, so this one I'm going to go a little faster. I want you to have 5 adjoining squares side by side, like I'm doing, and you need to create a gradation in between of what the various tools will produce. In this case, it's an HB pencil. Okay, so you can see how these are blending now, getting fairly similar. So I need to darken this up, but I need to darken this up relative to what this is going to be. Okay, so continue on. You're gonna reach a point where you need to stop pretty quickly. Okay, so do you see how these two are starting to get a little close? Now do you see a range as it's getting darker between these five? That's what you want to be able to see at the end of this.